I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford erupted at Canelo during a tense press conference, making it clear that his focus remains on proving himself strictly in the ring. However, he warned that if Canelo crosses boundaries or shows disrespect, matters could easily turn personal. Crawford's fiery remarks revealed both his passion and determination, emphasizing that he is fully prepared, mentally and physically, for the upcoming clash, leaving no question about his self-belief.
You a
yeah, there is stuff.
You a
see.
You a
you
hold talking to. Let Aaron. You a because you keep talking like a.
You
doing all that talking.
That's how
you doing all that talking.
You catch me, gotta come back. I come back.
You don't talk, and you talking too much.
This
you want some attention.
Some icon right here. This is gonna be legendary right here.
Female ass.
See y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight.
Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, all right.
Trainer Greg Hackett has consistently expressed confidence in Crawford's ability to overcome Canelo Alvarez, crediting this belief to Crawford's fearless approach inside and outside the ring. Hackett explains that Crawford never enters a fight with doubt or intimidation, which separates him in a division where many hesitate against a dominant force like Canelo. He insists that Crawford's self-assurance is not arrogance but the product of years of discipline, victories, and versatility. According to Hackett, confidence is a fighter's sharpest weapon, and Crawford carries it every time he steps into the ring. Facing someone widely regarded as one of the sport's pound-for-pound best demands mental toughness, and Hackett is convinced Crawford has it in abundance. To him, this bout is not a daunting challenge, but another chance for Crawford to prove he thrives under pressure.
Canelo, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we can get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence.
Veteran commentator Adam Smith calls the potential showdown between Crawford and Canelo a massive leap for Crawford, but one that remains entirely winnable. Smith highlights Crawford's exceptional boxing IQ, noting his ability to quickly adjust to an opponent's rhythm and exploit weaknesses with precision. He adds that Crawford's speed could prove pivotal, as Canelo's defensive guard can sometimes leave exploitable gaps. Smith predicts the fight would likely go the distance, with Crawford's ability to outthink and outmaneuver Canelo across 12 rounds possibly deciding the outcome. He praises the matchup as a thrilling contest where both men will be pushed to their physical and mental limits. For Smith, the idea of Crawford winning on points is not unrealistic, but a testament to how boxing rewards sharpness, skill, and strategy.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember Eubank Ben? How much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
that's because we had it.
But that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts, a southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo, but is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
Analyst Ade Oladipo takes a more critical stance, arguing that although the fight has captured massive attention, it lacks the intrigue of other major recent clashes like Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo feels that Crawford versus Canelo does not offer the same suspense or balance, largely because of the natural weight disparity and the widespread perception that Canelo holds the upper hand. While Usyk versus Dubois delivered contrasting styles and genuine unpredictability, this matchup, in his view, leans too heavily in Canelo's favor. He believes the buzz is fueled more by promotion than by the organic competitiveness of the fight itself.
It's been billed as the biggest fight of the century, SummerSlam the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. This doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. How Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost felt like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side who's a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. The event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have gone all out to position Crawford versus Canelo as a cultural spectacle, branding it as the biggest fight of the century. By tapping into the global boxing community and beyond, they have generated hype that stretches outside the sport's traditional fan base. The involvement of Netflix has supercharged the build-up, offering behind-the-scenes footage, exclusive interviews, and wide-reaching documentaries that give the event a larger-than-life feel. This level of promotion ensures the fight reaches audiences who wouldn't normally follow boxing. The strategy blurs the line between sports and entertainment, creating anticipation comparable to the biggest crossover spectacles in history.
I'm holding you to the standard you set. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that. right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein offers a blunt perspective, noting that despite the massive promotional effort, this isn't the fight most of the boxing world truly wanted. In his view, the demand for Crawford versus Canelo didn't arise naturally. Fans were more eager to see Crawford remain in his own division against top contenders, or Canelo face rivals closer to his weight. Bernstein admits the matchup has appeal on paper, but argues it lacks the kind of organic rivalry or compelling storyline that turns a bout into a must-see spectacle. While the promotion has successfully created buzz, he stresses that genuine enthusiasm among hardcore fans is far lower than for other recent super fights. His analysis echoes a common critique that this showdown feels more like a marketing creation than a response to fan demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. It looks like they've already sold 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean,
believe
it's not that
that
many left. In Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight? You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup's concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Another prevailing sentiment about this clash is that while it will draw a massive audience, it wasn't a fight the public was clamoring for. Many argue the size and weight gap gives Canelo a clear edge, potentially making the outcome too predictable. The real excitement comes from the question of whether Crawford can overcome those disadvantages and deliver a historic upset. Should he succeed, it would be remembered as a shocking, era-defining moment that redefines the underdog story in boxing. But if Canelo wins as expected, the event risks being dismissed as inevitable or uninspired. This captures the tension between hope and expectation. Fans long for the upset, yet remain cautious of a result that feels predetermined. The intrigue ultimately rests on whether Crawford can prove that skill and intelligence can outweigh size and power.
So many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger, Canelo Alvarez, because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people. Many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I would have to go out and see in the United States how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Observers have been surprised by Crawford's dramatic physical evolution at 175 pounds. A division far above his natural frame. Recent images show him muscular and ripped, with thicker shoulders, a stronger neck, and a frame that looks capable of absorbing Canelo's power. This transformation has eased concerns that he might be undersized, showing instead that he has reshaped his body to meet the demands of the higher weight. His preparation reflects a serious investment in strength and conditioning, building power without sacrificing his trademark agility. For fans, seeing a bulked-up yet still sharp Crawford inspires confidence that he can counter Canelo's physicality while preserving his technical brilliance. The sight of a stronger, more imposing Crawford has sparked new debates about whether size will really determine the fight, or if skill can once again tilt the balance.
Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded, what looks to be about 175. Now, he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at right now, because obviously the weight is at 168. And he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders. Okay, when you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Alvarez's resume, however, speaks volumes. Having turned pro at just 15, he carries decades of experience against elite opposition. Canelo combines one of the sharpest jabs in the sport with exceptional durability and the ability to shift strategies mid-fight. His legacy spans multiple weight divisions, built on victories under relentless pressure and against world-class names. For Crawford, stepping in against someone with this depth of skill and pedigree represents the ultimate trial. Canelo's mix of toughness, technical mastery, and ring IQ makes him one of the most dangerous opponents any fighter could face, regardless of their strengths. That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.